Hello again there folks, Lone Adventurer here. Thank you very much for stumbling your way upon my channel and joining me for another adventure. Today we are going to get started with a playthrough of Courier, repackaged edition, from Cody Bar at Sleepy Sasquatch Games. Before we get started, let me ask you to consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more adventures just like this one, and to like this video if you happen to find yourself enjoying the video. With that said, let me also point out that this is part 2. I'll put a link up in the corner of the screen to part 1 right about now, and that'll be down in the description below. In part 1, we have a little look at the book, we go over the setup of the game and character creation, and that's all done now. So all that is left to do is to make a start. Now we've got our factions sheet here. We'll be using that less frequently, so I might pop that off camera over there. So we've got our character sheet for Jack the Vaulter. He is a vaulter, he is someone who grew up in a vault in the safety of that environment, and now he has been thrust out into the world for whatever reason in order to become a courier. Now when you start, you need to decide on a settlement in which to begin. I have chosen this one here basically because it's roughly in the middle. This settlement, it is run by the independents. At the moment they have 0 power and we have 0 reputation with them. We're hopefully going to change that a little bit by helping them out. So this is our world timer. It sort of keeps track of time passing in the world, and at certain times, based upon the value of that dice we'll get into, things will happen. Stuff will occur. Things in the world will change. But that is getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. We need to start our first round. So a round is comprised of any number of turns. In a turn we will do a thing. Some of the things we can do tire our character out a little bit, and we will track that using these tokens here. We have 3 points of exhaustion that we can use over the course of a round in order to do stuff. This here is our list of things that we can do. In this list we've got reveal and travel, so that's revealing stuff in the map and travelling around the map. Exploring, so that's discovering an encounter for your current location. Settlement action, so much like Glider, Cody's other game, when you are in a settlement you've got a list of actions that you can perform. Also in a turn you can use gear or items, or we can rest, which allows us to recover 1 HP, all exhaustion, and end our round. So I guess we can do that whenever we want, even if we have got all our exhaustion left. If we are so inclined, we can end the round. So what are we going to do? We are going to do some stuff in our settlement. So we are going to do a settlement action. To do a settlement action costs 1 exhaustion. So we'll lose 1 of those. And then we can do any of these things. We can gain a contract. We could deliver, that's fulfilling a contract, but we haven't got any contracts and we haven't got any cargo, so we're not going to be doing that. We can trade, we can buy and sell things in the settlement, but I'm not particularly inclined to sell any of our starting items, so we won't be doing that. You can hire a companion, but that is quite costly. We've got 5 scrap, so there are theoretically some companions that we could hire. Okay, so when you hire a companion, you have to roll a d12, and then you either take or you leave the one you have rolled. So there are a few with a cost of 5. There is one with a cost of 0, so we could theoretically do that. You can also seek medical aid at the cost of 1 scrap per point of HP or rads discovered for a player. So much like Fallout, you are keeping track of any radiation illness that you have incurred in your wanderings through the Wasteland, tracked as rads. But yeah, we're going to be gaining a contract. That's what we need. We need to start thinking about contracts, making a bit of cash, and doing stuff like that. It says the player creates new contracts up to the total difficulty level of the settlement +1. Now the difficulty of all the existing settlements is 3, so that means that we could create 4 contracts. Now we have a table here to track contracts that we have accepted. We could create 4 contracts for this settlement. This is up to. Okay, so right. So we could take multiple contracts, I guess. If we create a contract and we don't like the look of it, can we then just create another contract? I suppose we can. But for the time being, we're not going to overthink that too much. We're just going to have a go at creating a contract. And to do that, we're going to turn to page 56. I might just put a little sticker in here for the actions. There we go. And we're turning to page 56 for the contract stuff. Contract creation and mission creation. So to generate a contract, we're going to roll a D12. We're going to roll it multiple times in order to generate a... Well, we don't need to generate a start location. That's where we are. We're going to generate a contract size, a distance, a faction target, and a reward. So just grab my trusty Kong pencil. We need a D12. There we go. So our start location will be where we are. Now, since the last video, I have added numbers onto the end of each of the location faction letter signifier bits. So we are currently in I1, and obviously you can have multiple settlements for any given faction, so that's how you differentiate them. For example, our unaligned, we've got unaligned 1, U1 down there somewhere, and U2 up here. So we're going to note down our start location as I1. Now we're going to create a contract size, 5. So that's quite modest. The contract size is 2 cargo, so we can list that there. That's how much stuff we're taking. And remember, we do have a limit on what we can carry. Our cargo capacity is 6, so we now have filled up a third of our cargo capacity. How far away is it going to be? 7. So for that, we're going to measure 7 around where we are at here. So 7's quite a lot. I think it's going to encompass most of the settlements that we've got on the map here. And I've just been sort of counting 2 nearby settlements. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 hexes away. Yeah, I think we can reach them all. And then we're going to roll for faction target. 1 means same. However, there aren't any other settlements with the same faction as where we are at, the independents. In that case, I choose a target within the distance requirements. So I think we will head over to the Strand Institute. So our target will be S1. That's our destination, our end. And we're going to roll for a reward as well. That is a 9, which gives us, pretty good, cargo size +2 plus distance. Aha. So it's a shame I didn't pick somewhere further away because it involves the distance. It means we can get this contract completed quite quickly and we can see how that works. So that will be 2 plus 2 plus 1, 2, 3. So that will be 7 scrap. That's pretty good, I think. So 7 scrap will be our reward. And that is our contract created. Now, as I said, I think I can create another contract. I mean, we might as well, mightn't we? We might as well have 2 contracts. Let's try and do this a bit quicker. Size is going to be 2 cargo. This is starting from I1 again. Size is 2. Then the distance 1. That's very close. Well, 2 plus. Oh, I didn't see that. 2 plus. So it's any location that's beyond 2 spaces away, or 2 or more spaces away. Okay. So yeah, when I was talking about the distance for the previous contract, that wasn't quite right. Right, so it can be anywhere. Faction target, 11, player choice. So we can do wherever we want. So I wonder whether we focus on this area down here, and we could go down to this one as well, just mix things up. And what is our reward going to be? 12, that sounds big. Cargo size +5 plus distance. So the distance is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be 2 plus 5 is 7. So 12 plus a fame. That's pretty exciting. So if we can complete that contract, we'll get 12 scrap and 1 fame. And if you remember, fame is what we are aiming to gain, to acquire, in order to win the game. So we are playing a super small game, which means we are playing to 5 fame. And if we complete that contract, we will be 1/5 of the way to that objective. Alright, now we've got some contracts, I think probably we should head out into the world and do some exploring. And because all of the locations around the settlement where we are currently located, because none of those have yet been revealed, we will need to reveal. So reveal and travel costs 1 exhaustion, so we will lose another one of those. Choose an adjacent cell. If the cell is not empty, then you just move there, but all these cells are empty at the moment. If the cell is empty, the player must perform a reveal action. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to turn to the location reveal table, and we're going to roll to see the type of location we've got going on here. So this is a D12 roll. 7 wastes. Then we're going to roll again to see the amount. So each location can range from a size of 1, that will be just 1 cell, up to 4, so that would take up 4 cells. And then we'll also roll for difficulty. So we've got a size 2 waste, and it's a difficulty 2. Now I didn't decide which way I was going to go, but I am going to head sort of down, I think. So we need a W for wastes. I think we'll have it going over that way. And then we put the difficulty number in the bottom right hand corner like so. And then we can move our character into there. And then part of the reveal and travel action is essentially doing an explore action. So when you're moving around, exploring is built into that. So for the explore action, that's not going to cost us an extra exhaustion because it's part of the travel action. We roll a D4, not a D4, a D6, and on a 4 plus, we have an explore encounter. And we've got a 4. So what we're going to do is turn back to the exploration and encounters table page, and then we're going to look at the wastes exploration table, since that's where we are. And this is another one of those tables where we will roll multiple times. We're going to roll once for the event, a cavern leading down below. So we found a cavern and we're going down into it. What encounter are we going to have? 6, a combat encounter. So we have found something in the cavern that we need to fight. And it's going to be a monster. So let's find out what monster we are fighting. Over on the monster table, we've got 6 possible monsters to choose from. And I might make some notes on the back of my factions sheet here, because this is another table where you're rolling multiple times. So first we need to... do we need to roll for enemy disposition? That's only for humans. Humanoids you have to roll to see how they sort of behave towards you, but monsters, I guess the monsters just attack. So what have we got? 6. That's the wrong dice. Let's try that again. 4. A water lurker. So we've got a watery cavern containing some kind of aquatic monster. And then we're going to roll to establish other stuff about them. Is that right? Or is this... do we have to roll multiple times? Maybe we don't. Let me have a quick check on that. Okay, I don't think I need to roll multiple times. I think that the row there, the fourth row, is all the details you need for a water lurker rather than randomizing it. But we do need to... oh no, we don't need to roll for the HP, because that is X, which is the difficulty of the location. Our location is difficulty 2, so our HP for our water lurker is going to be 6. We'll draw a little bar here that we can cross off as we are fighting it. And then, yeah, I guess we don't need to write anything else really, because we can carry on referring to this table. You know what, I'm going to write down the other stuff simply because I need to turn to the fight rules. So a water lurker has got a fight value of 9. The harm that it does is 1d6 plus 1 rad. And we've got a special ability here, 1d8 pro. So pro is protection, and this reduces the total harm dealt to the enemy. So I think I'm going to roll for protection, like armour, I guess, each combat round, rather than rolling and having one value for the whole thing. I think that's probably a logical way of doing it, because if you rolled an 8 at the start of the combat and then it always absorbed 8 points of damage, then it would take quite a while to destroy it. Okay, it looks like the player always goes first unless the enemy has the fast keyword. And so we're going to be attacking using our fight keyword. Our fight... oh, and our fight is good, isn't it? We've got a base of 15. Is that 15 plus 1, or is it 15 and the 1 is already included? Ooh, I don't know how I've set that up. So I've got a fight of 16 or a fight of 15? I started filming this video a few days ago, in case you're wondering, worrying about the state of my memory. It's that is the reason why I can't remember. But no matter. So we're going to be doing a skill test. Maybe we'll use 15 for now. So we're going to be rolling a d20 to do our skill test, and we're aiming for 15 or less. So we've got a pretty decent shot here of damaging this water lurker. So here we go. 13. So that is a success. We are using our old pistol, which does 1d4 plus 1 harm. That is pretty low, especially considering that the enemy is going to be absorbing d8 worth of damage. So this might be a longish combat. So here we go. How much damage are we doing? 4. How much is the lurker absorbing? 6. So we have failed to do any damage. Yeah, this could take a while. So now the lurker is going to attack back. Lurker's got a fight of 9. 1, that is a success. Remember, we're trying to roll less, or the lurker, if you imagine the lurker rolling, is trying to roll less than their, or equal to or less than their combat score, and doing 1d6 plus 1 rad. This could be quite bad. Have I got any armour? I think I do. Oh, 6! That's awful. We might have to run away here. Okay, so we're getting 1d4 protection from our jumpsuit. 1. So we're taking 5 points of damage. Ooh, that's taken me down to 3. We might have to run away from this situation. The lurker, it turned out, was possibly too much for us right now. That's a real shame. I would have liked to have destroyed this lurker. And we're taking a point of radiation damage as well. Where do we put that? Ooh, so as your rads increase, that has a negative effect. That makes sense. If we have 3 rads, we get -1 to all our skills and our max HP. All our stats and our max HP. Ooh, okay, lurker, I don't think I'm up for this. So I am not up for this at all. I think probably I need to get out of this fight, unfortunately. So retreating. We need to do an agility test to see whether we can escape combat. If we fail, then we're stuck in the combat and we get attacked. So the agility is 11, or is it 12, 13? Well, we'll take it as 11. There we go, 10. Right, so that means we are able to retreat from the combat, and that did not work out for us. Never mind. I think we need to push on. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to reveal and travel again. We're going to go over this way. This is going to cost an exhaustion, which means we are out of exhaustion, and we will need to finish this round after we have done this. So let's roll to see what kind of location we've got going on here. 5, vegetation. 5 again means it's 2 in size. Oh, and 11, that means it's difficulty level 3. And we were going this way, and we'll make the vegetation go down here. So moving over there, we're going to check to see whether we have some kind of encounter. 2, that means we do not. And so that is the end of the turn. We can now rest to recover 1 HP and 3 exhaustion. So we get our exhaustion back. We gain 1 HP up to 4. We could upgrade our home. So your home is your handy, organised mobile environment, a staple for all travellers in the Wasteland. And the home provides various things that you can do while you are resting. So we can't afford any of this stuff right now, but for example, for a cost of 20 scrap, we could install better beds in our home. It would give us +1 recovered from rest. If we were feeling particularly flush, we could install a mailbox for 90 scrap, roll 1d6, result of 5+, gain 1 lost package item. I don't really know how that works. We haven't got time to look right now, but that's some stuff you could have in your home. Then the end of the round. So we do this stuff if the world timer is at 6 or higher. It is not. That would include having a world event and resetting the timer. But we're not at 6, so we're going to increase the timer to 2. And we're going to carry on with the next day. Right, so we're going to keep on pushing on, I reckon. We're going to go into a new location. We're going to reveal and travel. I'm going to put a little sticky label in this one, I think, because we're coming back to this quite frequently. So we need to roll a d12 for the type of location. 1 gives us a unique location. Aha, this is our first one of these. Now this is a separate table. Here we go, separate page even. So for unique locations, we're not going to roll for the size. The size will be listed in the unique location. And the type of the unique location is also listed, because a unique location has a standard type, like waste, vegetation, ruins, or settlement. And they're all difficulty 3. So we've got a D20 table of unique locations here. 9. A farmstead. I think I had a farmstead last time. So it is size 1. It is location type settlement. Each unique location has a location effect. And the location effect for the farmstead is players perform agility tests here for 1 exhaustion. On success, gain 1d4 scrap. Ah, that's pretty cool. Maybe I haven't had one of these. That doesn't ring a bell. So a farmstead is size 1. We're going to put its type up at the top there, which is settlement. Difficulty 3, and I think that about covers it. Do I need to make a little note? I probably do. So I've written we can do an agility test here for 1 exhaustion, and if we are successful we will gain 1d6 scrap. I should have paid 1 exhaustion just to move here. Move our little meeple over to that location. And now we might as well do that, mightn't we? Just to test it out, just so we know what the deal is. So I guess this is you helping out on the farmstead. And if you help out on the farmstead when you're passing through, you'll get paid if you are successful. I was looking at this and thinking about that modifier again, and I'm pretty sure that the base is what we rolled at the start of the game, wasn't it? Because we were rolling 3d6, and I remember being pretty excited about the high numbers that we rolled. Right, we're adding the modifier on. I've made an executive decision because I want to increase the likelihood of my success, basically. And I'm pretty sure I haven't already incorporated it into the base. At least I hope not. I'm waffling now. So we're going to do this action, this unique farmstead action. We're rolling a d20, and we're hoping to get 11, 12, 13 or less. And we've rolled a 9, so that means we're going to get 1d4 scrap. Here we go. 3. Yeah, not bad. Little bonus there. So that's taking us up to 8 scrap. That cost us an exhaustion. And then we're going to carry on our way into a new location. Do we get to do a travel encounter here? I don't think we do, because I think that's in non-settlement locations. Although it does say the player must always roll 1d6 after moving. On a 4+, a travel encounter occurs. Oh, unique locations must have their special effects resolved before performing a travel encounter check. So even here we do a travel encounter check. Let's do that. 5, so that means we do have a travel encounter. Alright, so the farmstead has a base location type of settlement. Now surely you don't have travel encounters in settlements because we don't have a table for it. Unique locations reward 1 fame to the courier who discovered it. So we get a fame. We are 1/5 of our way towards victory. And another thing that I've missed here is we need to work out who the owner of the settlement is. So the settlement will be owned by a faction, and we need to decide what that faction is, or find out what that faction is. So we're going to roll for a faction on this table here. That is a d20. 5 gives us raiders. Oh, so we've got a new faction. Can't imagine really raiders running a farmstead. Righto, so I'll just quickly add them to our faction tracker. So I've just put their first goal on, which is to steal weapons. That requires 2 progress. They start with 1 power. And that is a raiders, our first raiders location. Right, with all that said and done, I still don't know what travel encounter might occur at a settlement. And it feels to me like that's not really a thing. I might be wrong, but looking through the rules, I can't really think where it says what kind of travel encounter might happen at a settlement. I think you just don't get them in settlements. So we will move on. We're going to use our last exhaustion to move into a new location. We are going to find out what that location is by rolling on the explore table. So that's 6 or a 9. That's a 9. Wastes. How large are these wastes? 4. 2. Size 2. What difficulty? 10. We've got a lot of difficult locations. That's difficulty 3. Everything is at least difficulty 2 and some difficulty 3. And that means when you encounter enemies here, they're going to be more challenging. Are we going to have a travel encounter in these wastes? 4. Yes, we are. So we're going to look at the wastes table, which is D12. See what happens. 10. A battlefield filled with broken machines. And we find something. Ooh. Alright, in the actions section under the explore bit, it says that if you have a result of find, we turn to page 51. Page 51, we've got the finds and rewards table, and it's got a column here that includes encounters. So we're going to be rolling in this to see what we've found. That's a D20 roll. 18 gives us 1 gear. Yep, here we go. Gear. Cool, we might be getting something interesting here. 12. A portable ladder. Reroll skill tests. D20 results for 16 plus for free once per test. That's not to be sniffed at. That's going to be quite handy. So we've got ourselves a portable ladder. Now I suppose... Oh no, we've got a gear section. And the portable ladder is worth 50 credits. So we can totally sell that potentially. I mean, it sounds handy, but we could sell it if we wanted to. And again, I made a little note down here, and I've made a note of its value as well. I didn't do that for the PDA buddy, which is worth 100. And I should have remembered the PDA buddy. You may re-roll a combat or skill test and use the new result once per combat. We could have used that when we were fighting that water lurker. That's disappointing. I really wouldn't have minded defeating that. Okay, that is the end of that day. So we get to rest and recover 1 HP. So we're slowly recovering from that fight with the water lurker. And we're going to get our 3 exhaustion back. Then, because the world timer has not yet reached 6, we're going to put that up to 3. And we're going to start a new round. So we are now in a position where we can go into this settlement. So I think that is what we're going to do. So moving into the settlement costs 1 exhaustion. Then doing the settlement action is going to cost 1 exhaustion. And we are going to deliver a contract, because I'm pretty sure one of our contracts was here, and that's why we were heading here. So this is settlement U1. So we had a 2 cargo contract to deliver from where we were, I1, to U1. And we have a reward here of 12 scrap and 1 fame. So there's a number of things we need to do here. There's a number of things that I can potentially forget, but hopefully I'll remember them all. First off is updating our scrap to 20. Adding 1 fame onto our fame tracker. Subtracting 2 cargo from our cargo. And actually we didn't record that. So we were carrying a total of 4 cargo. And we'll be taking that down to 2. We've also got luck we can use for re-rolls. We should totally have used that during the combat as well. Oh well. Let's rub out that contract. Now, what else do we need to make sure we're doing? We gain 1 reputation with the faction that gave the contract, and 1 for the target of the contract, if not the same. So we gained the contract from the independents, and our target was the U. Is that unaligned? I guess it's unaligned, but we don't track the unaligned, but we do track the independents, so we can gain 1 reputation with them. So on the reputation tracker for the independents, we're going to fill in 1 of these dots here. So you can see that going from 0 to +1 will require us to fill in 3 of these dots. When we fill in the 3rd dot, we will add 1 to our reputation. So our reputation will go to 1. If at the same time we are adding points of negative reputation and we get to -1, then our reputation will become -1. Or if our reputation was 1 already and then we filled in the dots to get to -1, then the reputation would drop back down to 0. This actually, once you're playing, makes a lot of sense, but it's quite tricky to explain. So hopefully we'll gain some more reputation and you will see that way. Now the thing that I do sometimes forget when doing contracts is XP, because in the settlement action section for delivery of contracts, it doesn't mention XP. But if we turn to the experience and growth section and look under contracts, it says contracts reward XP equal to the total number of cargo delivered. A contract for 3 would give you 3 XP. Now this contract was for 2 cargo, so we are gaining 2 XP, and we'll pop that there. Now we are still in the settlement. Is there anything else we want to do? We could trade, we could sell something and then buy stuff. Not sure I want to do that yet. We could gain another contract, we probably want to do that. I think we're still not quite wealthy enough to justify trying to get a companion, but maybe we could. We got 20 scrap, and the way it works is you roll to see which companion you might be able to gain, and then you can choose whether you wish to gain them. So let's roll a d20. 6. 6 is a helper bot. Ooh, and only costs 5. +1 to all skill tests and fights. Maybe we ran into the owner of this helper bot and they offered to sell it to us for 5 scrap, taking us down to 15. Looking around, there is no section on the character sheet for a companion. Nope, so we will add our own companion section here. So you can only have one companion at a time. So our helper bot gives us +1 in skill tests and fights. Pretty sweet. Happy with that. We can also get medical aid at the cost of 1 scrap per point of HP or rads recovered for a player. Can be done any number of times. I think that's probably worth doing. So we're currently on 5 HP. Our maximum is 12. I might spend 5 scrap to take us up to 10 HP. Yep, so that's going to take us down to 10 scrap. We are going to gain a new contract, I think, or at least 1 new contract, maybe 2 new contracts if we can carry the cargo. We'll see how it goes. So we need to turn to the contracts table on page 56, and we're going to try rolling up a new contract. So this is going to use the D12. What size is the contract? 7, 3. Probably this is the only contract we're going to be taking. How far away? 8. 4 plus. So it's got to be at least 4 squares away. Faction target 5. Same. So we are in unaligned. Ooh, it's a big one. It's going to be all the way over there, so it's got to be in that contract over there. And what is the reward going to be? 9. Cargo size +2 plus distance. That's pretty big. The reward is going to be, what was it? Cargo size +2 plus distance. That is big. So 13. Now, when you gain new contracts, you have to age the existing contracts. Basically, the longer you wait to complete contracts, the more stale they'll become, and eventually that will be a negative thing. I think you have to age out contracts and you lose reputation maybe with the people who you had the contract with. But that's okay, because that contract requires us to go to S1, which is up here, and I think that's where we're going to go next. So is there anything else we want to do in the settlement before we finish up and head back out? Okay, I think that probably will do it for now. So we are done in the town. I think what we'll do is we're going to end this video shortly, but I might just finish up this day. We've got 1 point of exhaustion left before we move on to a new day. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to travel. We don't need to reveal because we're going to head into this wastes that already exists. We're going to roll to see whether we have a travel encounter. 2, no we don't. So that is the end of this day. So we're going to rest, which means we can gain 1 HP. So we're up to 11. And then end of the round, the world timer is not yet 6, so we'll increase it by 1. Regain our exhaustion, and we're ready for another day. Alright folks, I'm going to carry that on in another video. I think that's probably enough for now. So in the next one we will carry on heading up there, explore some new undiscovered territories, deliver another contract, see what else we discover in the post-apocalyptic wastelands. We will no doubt get to the end of a round and we'll see what happens when the world timer hits 6. And yeah, lots more to show. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.